Hello, I'm Sasha of Sasha Makes Cards, and today I'm here with Whimsy Stamps sharing an autumn-themed card I created featuring the Autumn Vibes stamp set in the Hello Word and Shadow die set. Now, it may only be August, but in my opinion, this is the best time of the year to start doing some festive Halloween Christmas crafting. There are some fun new Halloween releases happening at Whimsy Stamps, so what better time to start my autumn Halloween crafting than now? I first started by stamping a sentiment and 3 images from the stamp set onto a 100-pound hammermill cardstock using Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. My plan for this card is to keep it pretty simple by having the sentiment, which will ultimately say Hello Fall, which will be made up of using the fall sentiment that I stamped here, as well as the Hello die, and then have the 3 little leaf images that I stamped kind of floating around the sentiment. Once I was done stamping the images and the fall sentiment, I then fussy cut them out using a pair of spring-assisted scissors. At first, I was going to just trim the sentiment, the fall sentiment, using my guillotine trimmer to give nice even edges. However, I decided to fussy cut it so that it could have a more organic shape to it. Once I was done fussy cutting all of the elements out, I then started to color the little fall leaf images. For this, I'm using my Ohuhu alcohol markers. I've created this little color chart combination as you see on the screen here. Feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot, reference these colors. As well, I've also put the colors that I'm using up in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen so that it is very easy to see how I'm coloring and what color I am using to color each part of the image. Since I'm going to be creating the background using some fall colored sprays, which I will get into shortly, I decided to color each leaf a different kind of fall color. I colored one in orange color, one a yellow color, and then one red. Working from my darkest color to my lightest color, for the orange color combination, I started with YR180, then YR190, and then lastly is YR070. As for the yellow color combination, I started with Y180, moving on to Y140, and then lastly Y130. For the red, I used R8, then R2, and then R1. Once I was done with the coloring, I then moved on to creating the background. For this, I decided to use some of the Halloween Distress Mica stains. I used the Harvest Moon, Burning Ember, and Iron Gate mica stains. To create the background, you can really use whatever kind of technique you want. You can do some ink smushing with a regular ink pad and water. You can use spray stains, you can use pastes. For this, I decided to use the mica stains because it was what I had laying around in fall colors. And also, I love since it has mica in it, when you spray it, it has a really fun, sparkly, shiny effect. And I thought it would be perfect for this card. To create the background, I simply started spraying the mica stains onto the card front, kind of haphazardly, not worrying too much about how it looks. I also used my heat gun in between the layers of color to quickly dry my card front. That way I was able to build up my colors easily without the colors bleeding into each other too much between layers. Doing this is great as it helps to keep the colors vibrant and not muddy the colors together. In addition to the mica stains, I also decided in the end to splatter the background with a little bit of black acrylic paint. I did this by placing some of the black paint onto my glass mat work surface, spraying it with water, and then splattering it with a fan brush. Now that I was done creating the background, I could then move on to finishing the card and gluing everything all together. Off camera, I did die cut the hello from the hello word and shadow die set place onto the card background. I only die cut the letters and not the shadow die, as I really want the white letters of the hello sentiment to nicely contrast the dark background that I created. Before I glued the sentiment as well as the little leaf images onto my card, I first kind of placed them to figure out the layout that I wanted. For the sentiment, I decided to place the hello letters in a kind of a wonky, funky layout to kind of create interest for the card. Once I was ready, I used some Barely Art liquid adhesive to glue everything down. And that's the completed card project. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for a complete list of the Whimsy Stamps products I used to create this card, with links to shop if you would like, as well as links to both my social media and the Whimsy Stamps social media. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.